West Ham United won, Manchester United won. It weren't the result that we were all after, considering how life has been under Michael Carrick so far. But considering how the game went, I will take the point and I will get into that a bit later on. But listen, the United fan, he doesn't get his haircut just yet, so his challenge continues. But people keep saying about, I'm sure he's happy that the challenge continues. And I just disagree. I just think he probably wants to get his hair cut. He's already gained all the success that he has from it. And I think the moment he gets his hair cut, that itself will be such a monumental moment that will take his social brand to the next level. And I'm sure he will get so many brand deals and so many opportunities as just a content creator that was built from this challenge. And he will go on to do amazing things. So people are saying, oh, I bet he's so happy that the challenge is continuing. I don't think so. He's probably distraught that he genuinely thought that we were going to get 5 out of 5 and it hasn't happened that way. But United Strand, listen, I hope it doesn't take too long before you get to cut that hair. Another thing is that people keep saying, that the challenge itself, it could be distracting the players and that the focus is more on him than anything else. And yeah, it might be, but at the same time, these are meant to be seasoned professionals, irrespective of a challenge on social media. And I know we are arguably the biggest club in the world. But I just think the players should still be able to perform. But let's get to what really matters, the match itself. And I was at the London Stadium live watching the game. I was sitting with the West Ham fans. So when I was showing my frustrations and I was questioning some things happening on the pitch, I had to take it easy with the tone of my voice and how loud I was speaking, to be honest with you. Didn't want to get kicked out of the stadium or anything like that. But the first thing I noticed and the first thing I was frustrated about throughout the first half was that Mburma was playing on the left wing with Cunha up top and in the middle, which I didn't like at all. I just don't like Mburma on the left wing. I wouldn't like Ahmad on the left wing either. And I do understand that it's probably because Mburma has more of the profile rather than Cunha to track back with Aaron Wan-Bissaka to try and keep him quiet. But I just felt like attacking wise, and Burma was just a little bit ineffective. Not even a little bit. He just was ineffective from that left flank, and I just don't want to see that happen again. And listen, going with the same first team, a lot of people are questioning it in hindsight. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that he started with the same team. I just think Mbermo really should have been up top, and I want him to be in those, in between the sticks, in between the goalposts, where he can be a threat. Because I think Mbermo's profile of player, in terms of attacking wise, he is the guy that gets on the end of things. He is the guy that has the final shot, or he can have a moment of brilliance with a cross or a pass. But I don't really see Mbermo overall in a game having a great game where he doesn't score or assist. I just don't see that from Mbeumo. I see him more as a guy that gets on the end of things rather than someone that can dictate play leading up to the attack. So I don't really want to see Mbeumo on the left flank. Of course, I can see him on the right flank where he can be an inside forward, but of course, I want Ahmad there. But other than that, I just want Mbeumo up top, waiting to get on the end of things or linking up play. And obviously, people were talking about the starting 11, and maybe it should have been switched up in hindsight, obviously, with Sesko getting the equaliser late on, which we will get to. But I don't think it's as simple as that. I don't blame him for going with the same starting 11. But of course, in hindsight, you will say maybe he should have switched it up a little bit. Um, but they did look tired out of there. That was my main concern of this game because I knew that he would start the same 11, and I just thought, they were having a week in between games so far under Carrick, and 3 days later going into a game, will they be able to keep the same intensity? And they definitely didn't. Everyone was poor over the field. I think the only person trying to make things happen, like I said in my instant match reaction after the game, was Amad Diallo. He did take Malik due for a ride at some point and take him on and get past him. But his final ball was letting him down, Amad Diallo, this time. But again, the final ball from most players in this game were also letting him down. I wouldn't say we really lost the midfield battle at all. Like Casemiro played all right, Kobe Mainoo played all right. Bruno Fernandes was a bit of a ghost in this game, which was really frustrating. Cunha also a bit of a ghost in this game. So you could see that they were definitely tired. They were definitely tired. But listen, I have to talk about Dallo. Dallo, I apologize to you literally the other day. And you let me down, man. You let me down because Somerville took you for a ride. Somerville was one of the best players, if not the best player on the pitch yesterday. And yeah, he took Dallo for a ride. Dallo definitely didn't enjoy playing against Somerville, and eventually he did get hooked. I don't want to be too critical on Dallo. He has been good recently. And like I said about Dallo, and I do think this is true, I think Dallo needs everyone else to be playing well for him to show the best of his abilities. And this was a prime example of that, where the team weren't playing well and Dallo showed his deficiencies more than ever yesterday. It was a quiet first half, chances really hard to come by. Somerville with a really good shot from outside of the box, Lamens with a good save. So that really took us into half time. And we come out the other end and West Ham gets an early goal. Luke Shaw, you know you're my guy, bro. You know you're my guy. I will back Luke Shaw to the ends of the earth, bar his injury record. But yeah, it was really poor from him. Not strong enough in the initial challenge with Bowen. Bowen gets the header down, and then Bowen peels off Shaw, and Shaw goes to engage with the player that's got the ball. When you have to leave that to one of the centre midfielders, let them be at fault because they're meant to be tracking Suchek. They're meant to be onto Suchek. But instead, he goes to engage. He lets Bowen pull in behind. Suchek clips it behind to Bowen. Bowen is now by himself, has time to think about what to do, and he plays a really dangerous ball into the 6 yard box. And who's there to pick it up on a 1-2 basis? It's Suchek, and he flicks it on into the far post, and it was a good goal, but sure, definitely at fault for that. I can't even maybe get onto Casemiro or Kobe Mainoo. Definitely should have been tracking Suchek there. So that's why I say it seemed a bit tired from the players. And then I thought to myself, is it going to be one of these games where we have to go behind to wake up? And I'll be real, it did happen relatively because we do get a goal with Casemiro and it gets disallowed for offside by VAR. But listen, man, this needs to stop, man, because VAR is just ruining the game, man. Because that should be benefit of the doubt to the attacking player. What do you mean his kneecap is offside? Like, what do you mean by that, man? VAR is just showing time and time again. You see what happened the other day, Liverpool versus Manchester City, where they just ruined a great moment for the Premier League season by disallowing Cherky's goal, sending off Sobozlai. And even today, with so many of these decisions, like I was there. That was not offside. That has to be given benefit of the doubt to the attacker. I just miss the days where the referee and the linesman were just paid to do their job. And yes, sometimes they will make human error. That's okay because it's human error. Of course, in the moment, you'll feel hard done by or you'll feel lucky. But I prefer mistakes to be made through human error rather than just giving the decision to someone in an office doing the VAR call. And because, come on, man, that should have been a goal. Casemiro, that should have been a goal. And it was a beautiful cross from Kobe Mainoo, and it was a really good header from Casemiro coming up clutch. But it doesn't count. And I do believe at the time that Casemiro got that goal, not too far into the second half, I do believe we come back and win this game if that goal stands. But it doesn't. It doesn't stand, and that's just the that's just what VAR is nowadays, man. That's what VAR is in the game. And obviously, then you get to, Arsene Wenger is trying to implement this rule where as long as part of your body is onside, then you are onside. Would that eradicate the problem? Will that make things more complex? And I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Now, people are calling for Benjamin Sesko to start for Manchester United and that he should have started this game due to his goal scoring exploits. And I disagree. I do think maybe he should have started this game and maybe we should have, well, Carrick should have trusted the squad a bit more in this game where we playing again only 3 days later. Again, because this first team were just used to playing one game a week. So the fact that we had a game a few days later, you can maybe argue that, listen, Mazraoui should have started instead of Dallo. Sesko should have started. But at the same time, listen, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And don't forget that these players are professionals, man. These players should be able to play a game 3 days later. So I think it's easy to say in hindsight. And another thing with saying that Sesko definitely should have started, who should get dropped? Who should get dropped? Because you can't drop in Burmo, who's our top scorer. You can't drop Amad Diallo, that's our biggest outlet and our biggest threat on the pitch on the eye test. So do you drop Cunha? But then if you drop Cunha, that doesn't do well for the balance of the team. Does Mbermo or Ahmad go to left wing, which I believe they shouldn't be? So then you have to drop Mbermo or Ahmad. So out of Mbermo and Ahmad, you can't drop Mbermo. He's our top scorer. So you're gonna drop Ahmad for Sesko and put Mbermo on the right, Cunha on the left, and a Sesko up top. And yeah, on paper that sounds nice, especially with Sesko's abilities in terms of ball playing, holding up the ball, bringing other players into play. You know, Xerxes can also do the same. But it's not as easy as everyone's making out decision wise to drop one of those three. Because I would say out of those three, and Burmo, Ahmed, and Cunha is probably the weakest link for me overall. And balance wise, it doesn't make sense to drop Cunha. So it's not as easy as everyone is making out just to start Sesko. And I still do believe that Sesko should be off the bench. I don't think he's ready to be Man United's number 9. I just think, especially in the first half, that Mbomo should have been the focal point up top in between the goalposts, but he wasn't. He was on the left and Cunha was up top. In hindsight, you would say Carrick definitely should have trusted the squad a bit more in terms of making one or two changes. Like I said, the Mazraouis, the Seskos, if you can find the right balance. But it's easy to say in hindsight. Another thing I'll say with the squad, I would have liked in this position, I'm looking at the bench when we're chasing a goal. I would have loved if Shea Lacey was on the bench. I don't know if he had a youth game, under 21 game recently, but I would have loved if Shea Lacey was on the bench, but he wasn't. He wasn't because I think that's the type of game where he can come on and make an effect. Overall, listen, the point was disappointing. The draw was disappointing, but I definitely was relieved that we did get a point because, truth be told, we should have lost that game. We should have lost that game. Callum Wilson had a one-on-one. Shout out to Lamens for making that save. That he should have made it 2-0 right before Sesko's equaliser. Not only that, Lenny Yoro. Shout out to Yoro when he came on. He made a very good cameo because two last-ditch tackles. Really, really good defending. And Yoro is showing his capabilities and why he was signed for such a great amount of money because he is one of the most promising youngsters as a defender in world football without a shadow of a doubt. And he shows that with a last ditch tackle or block, I should say, from Adama Traore and another one. I can't remember who it was from. Was it from? It was on the right hand side. I think it was Wilson. It was Wilson as well. And a really, really good block from Yoro to see the ball out of play and away from danger. So shout out to Yoro showing his capabilities. And I hope he can grow even these little things just to gain him some confidence whenever he next plays as well. So shout out to Lenny Yoro. Keep it up and keep working hard. But yeah, I will take the point. I will take the point. And truth be told, this is a game that Manchester United would have lost in the past because we didn't play well at all. We did not play well at all. And West Ham really should have made it 2-0. And I do believe the players showed some resilience there to even keep going and get the equalizer in the last moment. Shout out to Sesko. So I don't think it is the be all and end all. I don't think it is a disaster for Manchester United. I actually think, zooming out, that it is a really good point. I definitely did get carried away predicting 3-0 because of the carrot ball we have been watching. I mean, can you really blame me? But at the end of the day, being a bit more logical, and I should have been because we've had a tough time at the London Stadium. We've been winless there in 3 attempts before this game. But listen, overall, when you zoom out, 4 wins and a draw, Carrick Ball, still unbeaten. I'll take it, man. I'm actually quite satisfied by that. And yeah, I'm glad that we didn't lose the game. I think we showed really good resilience not to lose this game. In the past, this without a shadow of a doubt would have been a game that Manchester United would have lost. So fear not, Manchester United fans. Keep positive. I want to quickly talk about West Ham because West Ham, they are in a relegation battle. They are fighting for their lives, but they are now unbeaten in 4 of their last 5 games with 3 wins and a draw last night against us. And I do think West Ham, man, they are really showing some fight and they can, if they keep going like this, Nuno Espirito Santo, the mood that he's got these players in, I do think they can maybe get out of the relegation zone. And maybe Nottingham Forest will be the ones to fall into there. Of course, Tottenham are not far off, but I think with the sacking of Thomas Frank, that Tottenham will see a resurgence in form. So shout out to West Ham, Somerville playing so well. He was such a threat yesterday and he's been playing amazingly. He will be a key player along with the likes of Jared Bowen to get West Ham out of the relegation zone. And I also need to speak about my boy Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka in the first half made a key goal line clearance from Luke Shaw because that was goal bound. That should have been a goal. But Wan-Bissaka positionally was there defensively to clear that off the line. And attacking wise, he did really well for West Ham yesterday. Everyone always said that Wan-Bissaka's attacking is really, really poor, but I think ever since everyone said that about him, he's improved in that manner so much. And he's been really good for West Ham. And listen, if you know me, you know Wan-Bissaka is my guy, the Spider. So shout out to Wan-Bissaka every single time. Looking forward, we have Everton away next, which will be a tough game. Everton normally give us a tough time, and you saw what happened earlier this season under the criminal watch of Ruben Amorim. So hopefully we can bounce back stronger. Listen, the players have a lot of time off in between them with no FA Cup action for us. So they will definitely feel rested. And I will be looking forward to that game. And I think we can be back to our best, the Carrick ball that we have been watching since he has come in, bar last night. So let's be positive, guys. Listen, 4 wins and a draw. If you ask me that when Carrick was coming in as the manager, I would have taken it all day long, and I'm sure so would you. Let me know what you guys think about Sesko. Should he be starting for Manchester United? Who would you drop for Sesko to start? Because I think that is what everybody's ignoring right now. Let me know. But yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.